Hi, this is Jeff Tate, and you're listening to Brigade-Radio-One.
You're listening to Brigade-Radio-One.
I just did a show in Palm Springs, and where am I up to now? I'm gonna be
the ghosts of Frank Sinatra. You know, when he lived out there, he would just hoist. This is true. He would just hoist a Jack Daniels flag to let all his neighbors know it was okay to come over.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And he was pissed off at JFK because one of the times when JFK was campaigning, he refused to stay there. They were buddies, but he wouldn't stay there because he didn't want the stigma of staying at Sinatra's place. So he stayed at somebody else's.
Well, yeah,
place.
the stigma.
A lesser Hollywood.
Wow.
Guy, and Sinatra never forgave him because Sinatra's one to hold a grudge. You know who we had on the show a lot was Richard Johnson, the star of The Original Haunting, but he did a lot of movies with Sinatra before he passed away a couple years ago.
Wow.
He would give us all the first-hand stories. Sinatra was not your friend. Is basically he liked him, and I think he got along with him because he can get along with everybody. But the stories would make you feel like Sinatra would be tough to hang with.
Like bad stories? I mean,
the guy's like a major.
Good stories. I mean, I've heard
I've heard good stuff too.
Dreesen,
Yeah.
Tom Dreesen was one of his old school comics. Still works today at that Laugh Factory. He used to work with him a lot. He told me that Sinatra was so very generous. Like, you complimented his watch or his ring, he'd just take it off and give it to you to like make. So it was a way of him being grounded and not being tied down to.
You know what? I believe all that, and that's all good to hear. I read the book The Chairman on him, which is not a very good biography if you're a fan of his. It kind of taints him a little bit.
Really?
And I'm sure there's a flip side of the people that just one day on a Tuesday said the wrong thing and didn't get a call or never were heard from again. And right. Tony Danza always tells the story that he brought him out for to do one of the things on the Tony Danza show. Surjik probably directed it. And like when he showed up, Danza tried to help him, like help him along with his arm because Sinatra was elderly. And the next day, Sinatra's wife calls and goes, "Frank says lose our number."
What?
Yeah, like that kind of side of him too.
Wow.
Now look, who are we to judge?
It's crazy.
His music was fantastic. His movies were lukewarm.
Yeah,
at best.
Lukewarm.
Do you remember when he was married to who was that?
Mia Farrow.
Mia Farrow.
I know where you're going. He served her with divorce papers on the set of Rosemary's Baby. Rosemary's Baby was actually found by William Castle. You know, the guy that Matinee's based on. That was his movie, and he's a producer on it.
Yeah.
And Robert Evans, one of the Hollywood's legendary producers, said, "You're not directing this. We're going to hand it over to my favorite Polak." You know how they talked in those days. My favorite, because that's how he talks about it in his documentary. Yeah. My favorite Polak, Roman Polanski. He's a good kid. He hasn't.
When I was at Evan's house watching his movie, The Kid Stays in the Pictures, because he wanted some of us to come over.
With him in the room.
We did.
Of course you did. Because he loves watching himself.
Yeah. So there was rumors that. I should clear this one with the attorney first.
Maybe you should. So there's a moment in The Kid Stays. Have you guys all seen it? Have you seen The Kid Stays in the Picture?
I haven't seen it. No.
I've seen it because I was there with them in that garage where they pulled those seats out of the. Anyway, it's
thoroughly enjoyable, but it's no surprise that Surjik had to watch it with Evans in the room. So Evans could talk about himself after the documentary about himself was over.
There was dinner was served for 4 of us.
Yeah,
hilarious.
5 of us.
Who got you the invite?
Paramount Pictures,
of course.
Someone Devo at Paramount. I'm not going to use any names here because this is getting
because they wouldn't want to be incriminated.
Because they were kind of supporting him and helping him along, and he didn't take advantage of it, but he respected that, and we were his guests. And I toured that, he had a manservant, and the whole thing was preposterously presented in the most.
Trust me.
It was like the haunted castle. That place.
He saved Paramount. Of that, there is no doubt.
Yep.
And we owe him a lot to him if you're on the creative side. So we can have that discussion all day. But when it comes to that documentary, to show you how tone deaf the guy is, there's a moment where he's like, "And what happened next was the deepest, darkest time of my life. I was in rehab. There was no light at the end of the tunnel. It was dark, depressing. I was at my wit's end. It was the worst time of my life. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I immediately called my chauffeur, John Francois, and said, 'Have the limo waiting for me. I'm going to bust out of this rehab place. Be ready.' And when the elevators opened, I ran for it, baby. I ran past security. I jumped in the car with John Francois, and I said, 'John Francois, get me back to my mansion stat. I can't be here.'" And it's so out of touch. It's the worst time of my life. The darkest time. I was at my wit's end. John Francois, get me to my mansion. It's like Team America.
Oh, my God.
It's so fucking wrong.
my God.
And watches, and I'm paraphrasing, but that's basically the sequence, isn't it?
It's definitely
Hilarious.
And you're like, watch this going, that's the worst. John Francois, get me back to my mansion on Sunset Stat.
No, it was definitely the whole dinner was
What
that.
movie
You
is
know, it
this?
was
I
like
gotta-
champagne.
where can I watch
It was
this?
like,
The
oh
kid
my
stays in the picture. It's a documentary on his life. So my friend meets him
kid
once,
stays
right?
in the picture.
And it goes, Robert Evans gives him his card, and he goes, well, look, I'm gonna call you on Monday. And Robert Evans' response is, you'd be a fool not to. It's like,
God. So, but
So
and here's the thing: Jack
egos,
Nicholson bought him his house.
saved his house, yeah. Well, he also did a lot for Nicholson. I mean, they were clearly friends, and they had earned it. And you know, look, it was nothing to Nicholson, and Nicholson was very heroic to do it. So great. They were supposed to do two Jakes together, but my Evan started out as an actor. But things kind of spiraled out of control.
Lingerie first, right? Was it not ladies' clothes?
Quite possibly. Well, he was a matador or something, right? What's that matador movie he did? The Hemingway movie. And Hemingway wanted him thrown off the picture. That's where the title of the documentary comes from.
That kid stays in the
The
picture.
kid stays in the picture because the head of the studio goes, the kid stays. And it might have even been Zanuck. It might have been a Fox movie.
Yeah. I think you got it. You always
God.
got it. You're amazing. You're a machine, is what you are.
I don't know why. I'm a machine full of useless knowledge. But it's great at parties. I'm great at cocktail parties. And I'm bookable. Just reach out through the Facebook page. You better subscribe to this channel before you look uncool.